They were told she was safe, that she was alive, that there was no reason to worry. That was a lie. For more than 5 years, Amanda Dean's family has been searching for answers. Not because she simply disappeared, but because the system that was supposed to protect her failed almost immediately. This is the story of a woman who vanished, a case that was closed far too quickly, and a name that would later surface again, in another disappearance, in another state. Amanda Doran Dean was last seen in July of 2017 in Collins, Ohio. She was a mother of 4 sons, described by her family as outgoing, caring, and deeply connected to her children. People close to her say she was not someone who would simply walk away from her life without explanation. But behind closed doors, her situation was far more complicated. At the time, Amanda was in an abusive relationship with her live-in boyfriend, Frederick Rear. According to her family, the relationship had been unstable for some time. In the weeks before she disappeared, Amanda told her sister she was planning to leave him. That decision may have placed her in even greater danger. Then, suddenly, she was gone. Her family reported her missing almost immediately. They expected investigators to begin searching, questioning, and building a timeline. Instead, less than 24 hours later, the Huron County Sheriff's Office declared the case closed. Authorities told the family Amanda was alive, safe, and staying at an undisclosed domestic violence shelter. They were told she did not want contact with her family. And that explanation carried serious weight. Because once law enforcement accepts that an adult has left voluntarily, everything changes. Active searches stop. Resources are redirected. Early evidence, the kind that only exists in the first hours, is often lost forever. In this case, no proof was provided. No shelter was named, no verification was ever shown. The family was simply expected to accept that explanation and move on. Years passed. Amanda never contacted her children. She never reached out to her mother. She never spoke to her sister again. For her family, the silence became impossible to ignore. They believed something was wrong from the very beginning. Looking back, investigators would later acknowledge that this early assumption may have cost valuable time. In January of 2023, nearly 5 years after Amanda vanished, her family decided they could no longer wait. They went public. At a press conference hosted by the Cleveland Family Center for Missing Children and Adults, Amanda's mother, Carolyn Tokar, spoke emotionally about her daughter. She said Amanda lit up a room and emphasized something that struck many people watching. While missing, Amanda had become a grandmother. For her family, that fact alone made the idea of a voluntary disappearance almost impossible to accept. Birthdays passed. Milestones came and went. Her children grew older without answers. Amanda's sister, Shannon Dean, explained that communication with Amanda before her disappearance had been extremely restricted. According to her, Rear would sometimes take Amanda's phone away. Amanda would secretly use his device to send messages, then delete them immediately to avoid being caught. The family also revealed a deeply disturbing detail. Before Amanda disappeared, a threat had allegedly been made that she would be killed and placed inside a blue barrel. At the time, there was no physical evidence to support that claim, but years later, those words would take on a chilling significance. Despite the family's pleas, law enforcement initially refused to reopen the case without new evidence of danger. Eventually, Ohio's Bureau of Criminal Investigation took over. By then, nearly half a decade had already passed. In February of 2024, everything changed. Frederick Rear was indicted for the murder of Amanda Dean. According to investigators, Amanda was killed inside a residence on Wells Road in Collins, Ohio, the same day she was last seen. They allege Rear burned a mattress, attempted to destroy evidence, and cleaned the scene in an effort to conceal the crime. Amanda's body has never been recovered. Rear later pleaded guilty to multiple felony charges, including involuntary manslaughter, tampering with evidence, and gross abuse of a corpse. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison. For Amanda's family, the conviction brought a measure of accountability, but not closure. And as investigators continued reviewing Rear's past, they discovered something else. His name appeared in another disappearance, this time hundreds of miles away. Joseph Andrew Phillips disappeared in March of 2018 from St. Petersburg, Florida. He was 54 years old and classified as an endangered missing adult. Phillips had spent an evening with friends at Gandy Beach. At some point that night, he misplaced his phone and was later left alone near the south side of Gandy Boulevard. That detail would later become critical. According to law enforcement, Frederick Rear was the last known person to see Joseph Phillips alive. By Rear's own admission, he had contact with Phillips shortly before Phillips vanished. The next day, Phillips' service dog, Trouble, was found wandering near traffic close to the Gandy Bridge. Phillips himself was never seen again. From an investigative standpoint, the timeline matters. The window between Rear's last contact with Phillips and the discovery of the dog was unusually short. Detectives have stated that this narrow gap suggests something happened quickly. Phillips missed a scheduled flight days later and never returned home. No confirmed sightings have ever been reported. According to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, Frederick Rear is considered a person of interest in Phillips' disappearance. Investigators have stated publicly that they believe Phillips is deceased, though the case remains open. As Rear now serves his prison sentence in Ohio, authorities continue to review other cases connected to places he previously lived or traveled, including Florida, 2 disappearances, 1 suspect, years apart, and a family that was told, far too early, that there was nothing to worry about.
I hope this helps you heal and move forward to keep Amanda's memory with you as you proceed. I appreciate it. Thank you.